Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bobcat Corner. This is episode number 52 of Bobcat Corner, titled House Settlement Approved, What Now? And we're going to go right into it, talking about the House Settlement, which it would take a lot of time for anybody to talk about because there are so many issues involved here. And I've been saying it to other people lately that it's been taking me a lot of time to even get through all these details before I can set up this episode. So bear with me as I go through this. So anyway, my name is Stephen Vitt, and welcome again to Bobcat Corner. Uh, there are going to be more like updates going on with this show that I have not been doing before. So keep an eye on that. You'll be seeing different things like different camera angles, experimentations like that. So just keep an eye out for that. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. The House settlement has been approved officially by Judge Claudia Wilken as of 9 p.m. last Friday, June 6th. Um, there was a lot of back and forth going into this, where a lot of debate as to whether or not this settlement should be approved or not. You would hear it from both sides. It's like, yeah, they should just do this. Go ahead and pay the players. And the other side was like, no, there's some like legal issues here. Back and forth. So when you take that into account, there are going to be issues popping up. It's just there's no denying that. So I'm going to share with you guys two links in the description box below uh, that describe what's going on here with the official approval of the House settlement. One of the links, of course, will be an article written by Ross Dellinger, who, in my opinion, he's been one of the best college sports reporters in recent memory. He's been really on top of everything when it comes to college sports, college football. He does a great job. So we're going to start with this article here, and then we're going to get to the other article I'm going to link about the House settlement approval. We're going to start here with the Dellinger article. The House settlement will pay thousands of former athletes playing from 2016 to 2024 a whopping 2.8 billion, that's billion with a B, in back pay from lost name, image and likeness (NIL) compensation. Even more groundbreaking, the settlement paves the way for schools, for the first time ever, to directly compensate athletes in a system that features an annual cap and a new enforcement entity that is expected to more heavily scrutinize booster-backed payments, which we're going to get into shortly here with the whole Deloitte Clearinghouse thing going on here. While paychecks can begin to be distributed from schools to athletes on July 1st, the official start date of settlement implementation, the new enforcement entity, the College Sports Commission, CSC, which is an LLC operated mostly by the Power Leagues, immediately takes effect with Judge Claudia Wilken's approval of the agreement. And then it just goes on to say about quotes here. We're going to skip that. Here we go. Here we go with the clearinghouse. It means that any new contract struck between an athlete and a third party entity, such as, for example, a business, brand, booster, or collective, is now subject to the new Deloitte run NIL Clearinghouse. The clearinghouse, dubbed NIL Go, is charged with evaluating NIL deals between athletes and third parties to determine their legitimacy. That's supposedly what it is with the clearinghouse. It's like they're supposed to like monitor these deals if it's good in their eyes or not. I still have an opinion about that, which I'm going to share shortly. It puts an end perhaps to schools hurriedly signing current players and transfers to new contracts before the approval of the settlement in deals that front load a majority of the compensation. And I'm going to momentarily pause here from reading that article to share with you my thoughts because, like I've been saying, I've been gathering a lot of information about this just really sorting out all the key details about this approval. So basically, what we're looking at is $2.8 billion over a 10-year period. Think of it as like a contract. $2.8 billion for 10 years. That's your contract, which will pay past players for missed NIL approvals, opportunities. And it allows colleges to pay their current players, the players they currently have on their rosters, directly starting on July 1st, which is coming up here soon. So, I mean, on one hand, you can't appreciate the fact that, these players that put their bodies on the line, they risk injury and they risk like health and wellness issues when they take the field of play or the court. You can't appreciate the fact that they're getting some compensation. You should appreciate that. But there are other possibly unforeseen issues that are going to pop up here in the future that I don't think anybody is prepared to embrace. And that is my concern here. So, as far as football rosters go, that's going to be trimmed down officially to 105. So, we're looking at around 20-ish players getting cut from the currently structured rosters. So that means we're looking at 20-ish players that are going to be seeking opportunities elsewhere, whether it's still on the FBS level or they're going to have to even move down to FCS level in order to find those opportunities. It may happen in some cases. So you got to keep an eye out for that. And yes, there is that thing where some schools, they're not required to, but if they want, they can grandfather in some of the players that they would originally think about cutting. So yeah, aside from the fact that they could grandfather in some players, don't be surprised if a lot of these other players just get cut, they stay cut, and they have to look elsewhere for an opportunity to play. And yeah, I mean, yes, it hurts the G6, the group of six at conferences. Obviously, it does. But keep in mind that, yes, it's also going to affect the power conferences as well. We're looking at 105 for a roster limit. That's 20-ish less players for power conference schools to look at, because those players are got to go somewhere too. I mean, don't you think that those players would look at group of six conference schools and go like, yeah, we can go here, we can make it a go here. So keep that in mind too. And also I have listed here, schools can share as much as $20.5 million in revenues with players during the upcoming academic year, which is what it's common knowledge. Everyone knows that by now, $20.5 million. That's basically the cap for revenue sharing. And this revenue sharing cap will increase by 4%. This is a key detail I wanted to list here. The cap will increase by 4% each year during this 10-year span. So you'd have to be more of an economics expert to really crunch those numbers and to really dive into what's going on here. That it's not just a short-term thing. This is going over a long period of time, 10 years, a decade. So you got to factor that in. And that is a concern of many people following this, is that even with power conference schools, are they going to be able to keep up with these growing economic figures? And you've heard mumblings already. You've heard mumblings already of some power conference schools being concerned that they might not be able to do this. So it's just something to keep an eye on going forward. I mean, you're not going to see issues pop up like right away, like tomorrow or anything like that. But over a period of time, like a couple of years from now, don't be surprised if you start hearing economic related issues popping up, even with power conference schools. I mean, yeah, they're getting money from all sorts of sources, but if they're even having issues managing their budgets and managing their revenue sharing caps and being able to pay their players, just keep an eye on that. because even before this, you were hearing mumblings of schools like, for example, Oregon State and Washington State, following the whole thing, the whole fallout with them and the old Pac-12 schools when they were going through that legal battle in court. They were having money issues, being able to support their players, being able to support their facilities. So that was just like a minor reflection of what is possibly to come with many other schools throughout the country. Just my opinion about that. I know there's like certain differences between those things, but just keep that in mind. And also another thing, Brian Seeley, keep that name in mind, because his name is going to be popping up a lot throughout these next few years, at least. Brian Seeley, former assistant U.S. attorney and former Major League Baseball vice president of investigations and deputy general counsel. He has been named the CEO of the College Sports Commission. So they're going to be looking to him to be that figurehead, to be that guy that stands up to the podium, so to speak, for press conferences, and to really sort out verbally what's going on with the enforcement side of things, what's going on with the governance of college sports. They're just basically going to be using Brian Seeley to be that guy. And I will have to, for me personally, I will have to do some digging and do some research on Brian Seeley and his background. Major League Baseball, of course, he's had experience with sports in general. So he probably already has an idea of what he's going to be getting into. But I'm also wondering why exactly they chose him for this specific role. I mean, you can't help but speculate. Um, I hope he does a good job. I hope he has integrity with what he's going to be doing here. But you never know, because we've been saying that for a long time about the NCAA, the outgoing governing body of college sports. And look what happened there. Right now, guys, I'm not holding my breath when it comes to governance in college sports, because you can come up with any governing body that you want. You can come up with any group of people that are in agreement that they're going to be doing this. But I'm saying over a period of time, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure that whatever you have in place for rules, they're going to be enforced for everybody, not just for a select few, but for everybody. And I just have a lot of questions when it comes to stuff like that. So yeah, and this Deloitte Clearinghouse, which is basically managed by both Deloitte and LBI. I got questions about that too. I still have questions about it. Again, I would hope that Deloitte would be on the up and up, that they would actually manage this properly. This clearinghouse, any NIL deals that exceed $600 would be subject to evaluation by these guys. Okay, that's all well and good, but I'm hoping that the process, that how they go about this, because they're basing this off fair market value in their eyes, going off an algorithm. What was the last time I've talked about an algorithm lately? Um, I would hope that Deloitte is on the up and up with things like this, and I do expect there to be a wide variety of issues popping up related to how much players can make and how much they're going to be allowed to make through this process of the clearinghouse. I don't think this is going to last. If you want me to be brutally honest with you guys, I don't think this is going to last. I don't think it's going to last the whole 10 years. The Deloitte Clearinghouse, especially that part, I don't think it's going to last the whole 10 years. It may get through for like about 5 years, but for the whole 10-year span here, I don't see it happening. I see there being quite a few issues and immediate issues popping up where a player gets so annoyed by the process, they get so angered by the process that they're just going to go ahead and file a lawsuit against this commission. I mean, don't be surprised if it happens, guys, because I see it coming. And you're hearing all these other mumblings, which not even listed in these articles, um, that, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, Peter Bavacqua, the athletic director for Notre Dame, they had a golfing session with President Donald Trump of the United States, and trying to get into his good graces, so to speak, trying to get on his good side, basically telling him, yeah, we need help. Can you give us some help so that we can get an antitrust exemption? So this is part of it. This is part of the whole wheeling and dealing stuff. And this is partially what I just mentioned, just the last episode, backstage politics. I know some people may not agree with me when it comes to stuff like that, but again, over a period of time, you're probably not going to see it right away, right off the bat, but over a period of time, you'll start seeing the patterns developing for actions related to backstage politics, as I call it. Case in point, what just happened with this golf session that Sankey and Bavacqua just did. So, and then even before that, you had Brett Yormark, Big 12, representatives, talking, politically speaking, and then you have this Cody Campbell being appointed as part of this special commission by President Trump, along with Nick Saban. Um, you're seeing all this stuff happen. Of course, that commission has been put on pause, but you're seeing all this stuff happen, and you have to identify what's going on. That not all is well and good with college sports right now, especially not with college football right now. And otherwise, why would you see all these people scrambling to get approval, to get on the good sides of people? Why would you see this? Why would you see this if everything is all well and good? Because it's not. And there are plenty of things behind the scenes going on that they don't want the general public to know, that if it gets out, that it could get really ugly for everybody involved. And yeah, you got your official approval from the House settlement. Okay, you got one plane to land, so to speak, according to Greg Flugar. You got that one plane to land. They got all these other planes up in the air, and you're trying to land all those guys. I see a lot of chaos happening. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I see a lot of chaos happening. I see a lot of storms coming before we even get to a calm. I see it happening from a mile away, guys. I see a lot of lawsuits being filed. I see a lot of infighting within Congress for the United States federal government. I do see federal government intervention ultimately at some point when it comes to college sports and their governance. I just think it's inevitable because I don't think anybody in that room, as far as college sports leaders are concerned, I don't think anybody in that room has a clear enough idea of how they want to govern. They may say in press conferences, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we have rules, yada yada yada. Okay, on the surface that's great, but what's going on behind closed doors? What's going on in between the lines of what you're saying? That is what I'm concerned about. And so, yeah, on one hand, I'm glad that the players are getting compensated and that they're going to get compensation. That's great. But there are certain things that you still need to be concerned about. I'm sorry, but that's just it. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all this. Uh, you can agree with me or disagree with me. You can agree with me or disagree with me about that. But yeah, also I want to link another article down below in the description box. Let's just get right to it real fast before I head out. Also by CBS Sports, Brandon Marcello. That's also worth reading. Brandon, he pretty much says the same thing as Ross Dellinger does. So don't expect anything radically different with Brandon Marcello's article, but it's something to take note of as well. So, because I think Marcello mentions a couple things that Dellinger did not. So, let's see here. Yeah, such as this, how Marcello breaks it down. How schools plan to divvy up to $20.5 million among their sports has been a point of contention with no legal framework to follow. Most schools are expected to mirror the back payment formula outlined in the $2.8 billion settlement. That means roughly 75% of future revenue will be shared with football players, 15% to men's basketball, 5% to women's basketball, and 5% to all remaining sports. Some schools have opted to mirror the gross revenue each sport averages, which could lead to more than 85% of the salary pool being set aside for football players. Now, that is a good example of how I like a sports writer to break it down. So that's how Brandon Marcello breaks it down in his article. I'm linking that article down below as well, so you can check that out. Again, crunchy numbers, and that's another thing. Schools are going to have to face certain decisions that they're going to have to make for their sports athletic departments. That if you want to keep your football program going on any level, if you want to keep your football program going, you may be faced with this decision to make as far as which of the other sports do you want to keep going. We've heard about that as well, where it's like, yeah, your tennis teams, your swimming, track and field, cross country teams, all those teams may be going to the wayside. That some of those programs will be cut as a result of this. And we've heard countless examples of that in recent years. I mean, from lower level schools, but they've done it. They've done it, guys. Like, case in point, off the top of my head, I don't have this listed, but off the top of my head, Cleveland State University, Cleveland State Vikings, they cut their wrestling program not too long ago. They cut it because they were having financial issues. That's just one example I could. Uh, that's just one example I could list. Also, yes, I think it's Sonoma State University. Hope I'm getting that right. Based in California, they cut all of their programs. They just cut all of it. Every single one of their sports, they just cut it because they supposedly had financial issues. Guys, you're going to get a lot of stories like that in the future here with even the higher level schools that you're more familiar with. So that is a harsh reality that we're going to have to face as college sports fans, where some of the sports, the teams, the programs that we're following, some of them might be going away within a few years. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I highly encourage comments to be made down below. Please comment on this. And also, please, before you go, please leave a like, thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, please be willing to subscribe to STV Castle, because I regularly update this channel with Bobcat Corner and other series. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this content with your friends and other college sports fans. Let me know what you guys think. This is Stephen Vitt reporting yet again, and this is Bobcat Corner. I'll be back soon. Take care. Bye.